Jeremy Blevins is a 16-year-old teenager who has successfully convinced himself that he is an ailing, degrading, 89-year-old woman. Jeremy Blevins still attends school at Midwest High, but his extremely difficult psychological disillusionment gets on the nerves of all of his teachers, none less than Mrs. Rosa Del Visco, 43-year-old former Italian princess now turned American public high school teacher. Mrs. Rosa Del Visco left her home country when her crippling OCD led to her resenting all the castle's maids, and drove her to flee the country to find her own home that she could clean at her own discretion. Mrs. Rosa Del Visco hates every single one of her students, Jeremy Blevins especially, with the exception of Miss Alexa Carson, 15-year-old math whiz. Miss Alexa Carson is a self-described widow, but since her marriage was to her cousin's gerbil when she was 7, the state of New Mexico never formally recognized her marital status. Miss Alexa Carson hasn't worn a color except black since Mr. Gibbles passed, much to the disdain of her father, Chuck Carson, who is always eating toaster strudels. Fathering a complete disappointment, Miss Alexa Carson, Mr. Carson has drowned his grief in Pillsbury Doughboy products, going as far as using icing as a daily foundation and croissants as shoulder pads. Mr. Carson puts a large amount of effort on his appearance and his breakfast. The only person who worries about Chuck Carson's mental state is Sirigwe Montgomery, the lead singer of British Nirvana one-man cover band Smells Like Queen Spirit. He has never played a show bigger than his garage, and he is quite horrendous. Not to say that his harmonica solo during Lithium isn't a masterpiece, because it is. Sirigwe Montgomery works at the local grocery store to fund the band, and he is generally apathetic to all his customers, except the routine customer who uses pastries as makeup. Sirigwe would like to invite that customer to one of his shows, but his main focus is getting the attention of Jenna Galloway, one of 6 concert promoters in all of New Mexico. Jenna Galloway hates live music of any and every kind, seen often around town wearing military-grade headphones to avoid potential clients. The only other person in all of the town who shares her distaste in all live music is the hearing-impaired Jeremy Blevins, 16-year-old teenager who has successfully convinced himself that he is an ailing, degrading, 89-year-old woman. They play bridge on Wednesdays.